Hello everybody, Shrouded hand here. Some of you have been asking why I haven't uploaded a video in a while. Well, I have uploaded one earlier this week and it's been in a copyright dispute because of a few seconds of a song that I used. So I've got to wait for that to resolve before publishing it. Anyway, if you're supporting me on Patreon then you can watch it right now. There's a link on my Patreon page. In the meantime, I thought I'd cover a story that I read about here in the UK. It's still developing, so more details may come forward, but I thought I'd cover it now because it piqued my interest. Solicitor in court after injecting supermarket food with blood-filled syringes. So this happened last month in the Hammersmith and Fulham area of London. It was around 7:30 PM on the 25th of August 2021. A man was spotted in Waitrose injecting meat and microwave meals with blood-filled syringes. He then started shouting abuse at other customers and throwing syringes around. After that he walked up Fulham Palace Road to a Sainsbury's where he injected more food. According to one eyewitness, security guards chased him around the store while he shouted get away," really loudly. He then started shouting abuse at some woman near the checkouts before hurling eggs at her. Then he left Sainsbury's and went further up Fulham Palace Road to a Tesco's, and he was seen injecting even more food before he was arrested. He also had a strange encounter with a jogger at around 7 PM that same night. The jogger, named Tom Harrington, gave this statement to the Mail online. "I was on a run just after 7 PM last night and was running along Rannoch Road by the junction of Silverton Road when this guy started to chant 'Run, fat boy, run' at me. He was a white guy, normal build with stubble, who looked to be aged in his 30s. He was eyeballing me, so I stopped and asked him what he was doing, but he continued to chant. Then he pulled out this tin cylinder, like a pen case, but it was filled with 30 or so syringes. He pulled one out and threw it at me. I was only standing about 1.5 meters from him, but it didn't hit me. It landed on the ground by my feet. I couldn't quite tell what was in it. It may have had blood in it. I couldn't quite tell for sure, but I noticed the syringe had the top on still. At this point he was starting to walk down Silverton Road towards Fulham Palace Road where the supermarkets are. I asked him, 'Did you just throw a syringe at me?' He turned back and said over his shoulder, 'They're my freshies,' or words to that effect. It was a very strange encounter. The man with the syringes was a 37-year-old solicitor with a name I can't pronounce. Leoaai Elghareeb. Apparently he was of previous good character, so these actions seem very out of place. Police are still analysing the syringes to see exactly what was in them. It seems the main content was blood. Some papers are saying that it was his own blood, but it's not known whether he mixed it with anything else. Police say that they believe he was working alone and not part of any particular organisation. No motive seems to have been given. A mental breakdown seems the most likely explanation to me. For a man who worked as a solicitor in London to suddenly go around screaming at people and injecting food with blood, it seems a bit out of character. I don't think someone who was prone to these sort of outbursts would have been able to hold down such a job in the first place. Plus, many eyewitnesses described the man as seeming crazy and needing help. The fact that he'd accumulated 30 or so syringes full of blood shows that he must have planned this out for a while. They're not the sort of thing that you just have lying around. And that's the part I can't really work out. It seems to be a premeditated plan to contaminate food, but whilst he was doing it he was screaming and drawing a lot of attention to himself, meaning that the contaminated food got immediately pulled from the shelves. I don't really understand what the plan was. It definitely seems to be the actions of someone who wasn't thinking very clearly. From the looks of it, police don't think that he's done it before, because they're only telling people to throw away food that they purchased in those stores on that particular night. But I do wonder how many people bought food from that place and had already ate it by the time they got that message. I imagine they're probably worrying about what kind of horrible diseases and poisons they've been infected with. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on this story to see if there are any more developments. I just wanted to cover it because it's pretty gross. The subject of food contamination always creeps me out. I did make a whole video on this subject a few years ago. There's quite a lot of horrifying cases of people doing this sort of thing, although this is the first time I've heard of someone injecting blood into food. I know this one's been a bit short, but hopefully my main video gets released from copyright jail soon enough. If not, then I'll have something coming out in the next week or so, but I just wanted to get something up on my channel because it's been a while. And if you are waiting for a video, I've got a lot of content on my channel. There's probably something you haven't watched yet, so maybe go back and watch some of my older videos. They do seem to get worse the further back you go, but you know, give them a watch, you might find something you enjoy. So thanks for watching, be careful what you eat, and until next time, goodbye.